Seriously, I was watching a mom wrangle twins last night, and it didn't look fun. All right, I'm not judging anybody or any. I'm just saying it looked tough. Okay, and I don't want to do it.
I don't even know how my sister tells her twins apart because I still can't. So, like, even that in of itself, props.
She branded one of them. You don't even know it.
You know, I'm not fully convinced that she doesn't just randomly decide. Like, maybe she doesn't know either. She just acts so confident about it that the rest of us believe she can tell the difference.
Do you guys think, or actually, should I say, what are the pros and cons to having one child or having multiple childs as parents or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, I have one kid, so obviously there's pros and cons to it. Everybody has their own view on it. But I'll go out last. I just want to see, mostly from your guys' view, and then see if it kind of coincides with my views on it. But go ahead, Mateo.
I got an add-on to this one too. If you have multiple kids, what is the ideal age gap between those kids?
That's a good one. Yeah.
I think only children tend to be kind of weirdos. I actually have like an unofficial dating rule now in my life that I don't date people unless they also come from a semi-big family like my family. I think there's just a lot of relationship dynamics and family dynamics that just kind of fuck up people that aren't from a big family like mine. Like it blows their mind. There's just a lot of culture clash there. So kind of unofficially, I tend to not try to date people that are only children.
So
that's funny.
That's a con. All right, guys. Mateo won't date your child unless they have siblings. So go make them babies. All right. You want Mateo to be your son-in-law? Gotta have more than one, all right? You gotta have 12 for him. He wants big family.
Yeah,
family.
what if she's like 20-something and then bam, she pops one out and this kid's got 20 years on this baby? Would that work for you? She has
with the 20-year age gap between kids.
Of course.
She's like, I qualify.
That's where you get into that weird stuff where you call like your brother your uncle because they basically were your uncle growing up.
It happens.
I remember my uncle, I mean, he's got 20-ish years on me in terms of age. He had a little brother that when I was 8, that kid was like 5. So that little 5-year-old boy is on the same level as my uncle. In terms of it was an uncle that married into the family, so it's not like, that boy wasn't my uncle too. But it just felt strange that like, they're siblings, you know what I'm saying? But I'm fucking teaching this kid how to like play baseball or something. It's just Dominicans don't stop having kids, the age gaps be crazy.
That's some don't drink gin and juice and menace to society shit.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. His dad was younger than him.
I forgot about that.
Yo, he was putting his dad to sleep and shit, like tucking him in a bed, making him milk. That shit was so stupid. It was just making fun of the idea of like parents keep getting younger and younger, and then they're gonna start being younger than their own kids. No,
I think it's
possible.
Definitely going back to the only child thing. I do find that interesting though, Mateo, that you said you wouldn't date nobody if they're only sibling. Because my wife is the only child, so I know the difference. And when it comes to, I guess, culturally, like how she was brought up versus me, there is a difference, and it's not a difficult way to maneuver as long as you guys kind of communicate, but. At first she was so shy, like coming to my house, to my family's house. She was shy. She was very quiet. You guys know her. Put your nose. Yeah, she's a very quiet person. She keeps to herself, and that's something that I believe an only child gets. But sorry, it sounded like he was choking. Yeah. For him, at least, I wouldn't want him to be an only child. I want him to have siblings. Because I grew up like that, so I can only see the good from it, right? But at the same time, Emily's like, nah, like I'm fine. Like, what's wrong with being the only child? Like, Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I know when we grow old and me and Emily die, I want him to have a sibling. You know what I mean? Like, or somebody, like, he's gonna have friends, hopefully good friends like what I have, but it's not like a brother or a sister. You know what I mean? Like, because you share your deepest, darkest secrets with your brothers or your sister. You know what I mean? You can rely on them. You know that no matter what, they're gonna be there for you once your parents are gone.
I think I share more with my friends than I share with my brother and my sisters.
Well, maybe.
I think age gaps. I think that's why age gaps is a good question that you asked. That's a good switch, because me and my brother were only a year and a half apart, maybe a year and 4 months, and we were super close. Like, my brother was my best friend for. We had our periods where we hated each other as children, like, you fucking piece of shit. Like, I used to get upset at Michael, but I think the closer you have them in age, the better, honestly. I think the bigger the age gap, the bigger the separation the child's gonna have from his brother or sister. But I think going through things together, getting ass whoopings together, like, you know what I mean? Going, like, it's just something about that it just, I guess, builds a bond. So I don't know. That's the way I feel about age gaps. I think you should, if you are financially available to do stuff like that, I think, yeah, you should have more than one children, like more than one child. I think there should be at least two. I would hope one day that I could have at least two children. You know what I mean? In a healthy way, because I don't know. Yeah, I lost my brother, and I went from being a sibling to just, it feels like an only child, and I don't know. It's not that great. I don't like it. I liked having my brother to share stuff with and, like, talk about movies, and it's just there's an outlet there. So, like, I don't know. There's an outlet there that, for me, it's like having a best friend. And not everybody's gonna love their brother that much. Not everybody has the same history. But I felt like I lost a great person when I lost my brother. So
You did.
There we go. It's back.
So all
This
the
is how our
fans out,
recording's been going today, okay? This is how it's been. All right. It's a fucking disaster today. We're making it happen.
to all the fans again, sorry. We having another one down on the one up. And like how we say we like to one up, we one and upping on the one down. So, like I was saying, Doughboy, you did lose somebody great. Mike was a awesome fucking person. I didn't get to shoot him like I wanted to. Saddened by that. You know
With
how
a gun?
yeah, and his foot, shoot his foot. Remember how he hacked my Facebook? I had my whole family thinking some crazy shit.
Yeah,
I told him I promised him that, but there's always the afterlife when I see him, and you know I'll do that then. But yeah, no, you did lose somebody great. Mike was an awesome dude. I had a
Tony, your afterlife sounds like such a frightening place. There's guns up there, and you can just go around shooting people.
it's spirit guns, all right, spirit guns, the same ones that Pucho had in that video call y'all had last night. That's the same ones. But nah,
finger guns.
Yeah, it does suck, man, because you know you went from so you kind of live in both things, but well, you had the experience. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Pros and cons to having siblings and stuff. I do want another one for him and for me and Emily, of course. Like I want him to have that bond. You know what I mean? I have a bond with my sisters that it's you guys know how we are with each other, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know what I mean? My wife didn't have a sibling, but she said she loved it. So I just think that's just, it's different, but for me, that's what I would want. But I can't make that decision on my own. It's between you and your partner. But
you can definitely like there's more attention and time you can give to a single child, right? Like an only child, there's so much more attention. You can, if you want to like really help them excel at school and if Tony wants to really get Luca to be like the NBA star, whatever he said in the previous episode, like he's got his time he's got his target where he can focus all that time and attention and love on one child. So there's definitely some advantages to only children.
Yeah, I definitely think there is a high number. Like if you start getting past like 5, 6 kids, I don't know how anyone has enough time to individually give all those children enough time in their day to not come out with some sort of like, I guess you can hire nannies, but I feel like even then you'll have some sort of issues.
I think most of the time, once you get to like 5, 6 plus kids, it turns into the oldest ones watch the youngest ones. Like they become basically like the built-in sitter. Essentially,
I don't think that's healthy for you to do that to your older child, though.
I agree.
I don't think it's negative. I do think that they'll feel type of way like, yo, like I want to be out doing shit I want to do. I don't want to be stuck at home watching my sisters and brothers. But did it again. And we're back. We're back on the One Down show. Nah, I'm joking. Just the one up. More technical difficulties. But going back on our topic again, I do want to have my own, I guess, like, not my own, but me and my wife come to an agreement to having another child because I do think it benefits Luca a lot to have a sibling. Other than that, I don't know, man. It is rough, you know, because you got to talk with your significant other and maybe they have a different feeling, you know, or if she doesn't want to have a kid, or we can adopt, or, you know, whatever the case might be. But I think siblings will be fantastic for anybody to have. But it's not wrong. You know, if you're the only child and you loved it, kudos to you too. Coach, what do you think? Because I know you have yet to say anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of complicated. We're, you know, as Dominican people, the idea is like pump out as many kids as you can. So literally every family gathering, the question is, when is number 2 coming? I got that question about 30 times yesterday, which I thought was ridiculous. But
I hate that shit when people do that. Like an unwanted.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't really know anybody's situation. Like maybe we were trying for years and we can't do it, you know, or any number of combinations of shit that ain't your goddamn business. So it's just like, I don't know. It's a little funny that people do that shit, but what I was gonna say though is I do think there are pros and cons to having more than one sibling. Like Mateo kind of mentioned earlier. When you have just one child, you could dedicate 100% of your attention to that kid. Once you have a second kid, it's not that you love the kid any less, but it's a fact. They're not going to get as much attention as your first kid got. It's just not possible. You have to still deal with the first kid. So there's some sacrifices that are made there. I'd imagine that the hope is that that's offset by the fact that now they have a sibling they could learn from. They have a sibling they could play with, and, you know, have a friend, and all those benefits of socially, you know, just interacting with someone. I did find Mateo's comment hilarious about dating an only child or whatever. I do find that only children often, not that they lack in personality, but they just don't have as much experience interacting with people, getting into confrontations with people, and the experience of doing that is difficult for them. Like, so just simple shit like getting into an argument with somebody might be a bigger deal to an only child than it would be to someone with siblings that argued every fucking day with their brother, right?
100%.
So there is, I think, some incompatibility there where, you know, if you're an only child and you're dating someone who isn't an only child, like, you know, there may be right, some like incompatibility, Jesus. But yeah, I don't know. I think 2's the sweet spot personally, But I mean, I don't know. People should have as many kids as they could afford. Like, fuck it, you know. If you can only afford one, you should only have one. If you could afford two, have two, you know. If you can afford five, go for it. Ain't my business.
That's fair. How scary would it be to just like be informed? You know what? It's triplets this time. You're trying to have your second child, and they're like, "Oh no, here's 3."
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that happened to my wife's cousin. That's just well, not triplets, but like they already had 3 kids, and they got pregnant again, and then it was fucking twins. So that fucking extra kid turned into fucking now it's number 5, like, and that's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
That's where you got to rethink your car situation. There's a lot of big changes you got to do when you have 5 kids to transport around.
Not only that, you got to also think the amount of sleep you don't get when you get twins. Oh man! And if they're both like on opposite cycles, like one sleeps while the other one wakes up, and then you put that one, and then that one wakes up, you're like, when the fuck do I get to sleep? You know. But I mean, as a parent, you kind of know that. Yeah, I'm not getting any sleep anymore. But having twins, yeah, that shit is wild.
Scary stuff, dude.
Shout out to those who's done it, dealt with it, and is still going through it. Y'all are powerful people.
Seriously, I was watching a mom wrangle twins last night, and it didn't look fun. All right, I'm not judging anybody or any. I'm just saying it looked tough. Okay, and I don't want to do it.
I don't even know how my sister tells her twins apart because I still can't. So, like, even that in of itself, props.
She branded one of them. You don't even know it.
You know, I'm not fully convinced that she doesn't just randomly decide. Like, maybe she doesn't know either. She just acts so confident about it that the rest of us believe she can tell the difference.
Damn. Hey, if it works for her, right?
How old are these twins? They're young.
Super young, yeah, toddlers.
Yeah, I think once you get to the toddlers, there's like some personality there that you could start like learning, you know, who a person is and things like that. But when they're fucking babies and they're just shitting and eating and that's all they do, it's like I could totally see that some babies them got mixed up. Like, I don't even know what the harm would be other than the potential issues with like medical history. You know, one kid had asthma when they were a baby, and then that's not in mind anymore because you swapped them or something, you know?
Start off as Gary, now you're Greg.
It's like Parks and Recs, right? Gary, Jerry. He had all, they kept calling him other names. I forget what other ones.
They called him Terry.
Terry. His name is actually Gary, I think. So they changed his name from Jerry to Harry to Terry, and then he got back to Gary, and he was like, yes, they're back to my actual name. Yeah. And that only lasted a couple episodes. It was funny.